Learning outcomes. Upon completion, you should be able to gain a general understanding of the NERC-CIP standards, CIP-008-6 on incident reporting and response planning, and CIP-009-6 on recovery plans for BES cyber systems. Recognize the requirements of each of the two NERC-CIP standards, CIP-008-6 and CIP-009-6.
CIP 008-6 Incident Reporting and Response Planning. Purpose: to correct the risk to the BES reliability due to a cybersecurity incident by specifying incident response requirements. Applicability: reliability coordinators, balancing authority, interchange authority or coordinator, transmission owner or operator, generation owner or operator, distribution provider that owns one or more of the following facilities, systems, and equipment for the protection or restoration of the BES. CIP 8-6 System Security Management. Applicability continued. Each under frequency UFLS or under voltage UVLS load shedding system that is subject to NERC or regional reliability standards and/or requirements, and performs automatically under a common control system without human operator initiation of 300 megawatts or more. Each remedial action scheme that is subject to NERC or regional reliability standards and/or requirements. Each protection system excluding UFLS and UVLS that applies to transmission that is subject to one or more requirements of NERC or the RRO. Cranking paths and element groups meeting initial switching requirements from a black start resource up to and including the first interconnection point of the starting station service of the next generation units to be started. CIP 8-6 Incident Reporting and Response Planning. Requirements: a cybersecurity incident response plan shall be documented to include processes to identify, classify, and response to cybersecurity incidents. One or more processes to evaluate and define attempts to compromise, to determine if an incident is a reportable cybersecurity incident or an attempt to compromise. To provide notification according to requirement 4. The roles and responsibilities of incident response groups or individuals. Incident handling procedures. CIP 8-6 Incident Reporting and Response Planning. Requirements: cybersecurity incident response plan shall be implemented to include the following. Test each response plan at least once every 15 months by responding to an actual reportable cybersecurity incident or with a paper drill, tabletop exercise, or an operational exercise. Utilize the incident response plan when responding to a reportable cybersecurity incident, an incident that attempts to compromise a system, an exercise of an incident. All deviations from the plan during the response shall be documented. CIP 8-6 Incident Reporting and Response Planning. Requirements: records shall be retained related to all incidents. Cybersecurity incident response plans shall be maintained according to each requirement in Table R3 of this standard. CIP 009-6 Recovery Plans for BES Cyber Systems. Purpose: to recover reliability functions performed by BES cyber systems by specifying recovery plan requirements in support of the continued stability, operability, and reliability of the BES. CIP 9-6 Recovery Plans for BES Cyber Systems. Applicability: reliability coordinator, balancing authority, interchange authority or coordinator, transmission owner or operator, generation owner or operator, distribution provider that owns one or more of the following facilities, systems, and equipment for the protection or restoration of the BES. CIP 9-6 System Security Management. Applicability continued. Each under frequency UFLS or under voltage UVLS load shedding system that is subject to NERC or regional reliability standards and/or requirements and performs automatically under a common control system without human operator initiation of 300 megawatts or more. Each remedial action scheme that is subject to NERC or regional reliability standards and/or requirements, cranking paths and element groups meeting initial switching requirements from a black start resource up to and including the first interconnection point of the starting station service of the next generation units to be started. CIP 9-6 Recovery Plans for BES Cyber Systems. Requirements: a documented recovery plan shall be implemented to include conditions for activation, roles and responsibilities of responders, processes for the backup and storage of information to recover the BES cyber system, processes to verify the backup process completion and address any backup failures, processes to preserve data for determining the cause of the activation of the recovery plan, and data preservation should not impede or restrict recovery. CIP 9-6 Recovery Plans for BES Cyber Systems. Requirements. Test the recovery plans at least once every 15 months by recovering from an actual incident with a paper drill or tabletop exercise or with an operational exercise. Test a sample of information used to recover the BES cyber systems at least once every 15 months to ensure that the information is usable and is compatible with current configurations. An actual recovery that incorporates the information used to recover BES cyber systems functionality substitutes for this test. Test recovery plans at least once every 36 months through operational exercise. An actual recovery response may substitute for an operational exercise. CIP 9-6 Recovery Plans for the BES cyber systems. Requirements continued. Recovery plans shall be maintained in accordance with each of the following: no later than 90 days after completion of a recovery plan test or actual recovery, document lessons learned associated with a recovery plan test or actual recovery, or document the absence of any lessons learned. Update the recovery plan based on any documented lessons learned associated with a plan and notify each person or group with a defined role in the recovery plan of the updates to the recovery plan based on any documented lessons learned.